Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CNN, the conservative news network, your #1 place for all conservative facts and fiction. We begin with our top story tonight, another high school shooting in Kalamazoo, Dallas, Michigan. Now, as mass shootings happen all over the country, it's important for Americans to acknowledge that guns aren't the problem. Guns are available all over the world, so we wouldn't be seeing these kind of shootings in just America. Could there be something else in American culture that causes these devastating events? Let's go to expert Michael Peters for more on the subject. Thank you, Dash. Now, what does America have that other countries don't? The answer is a toxic culture around our entertainment media, specifically interactive media, specifically video games. In fact, it's only video games. There have been 3 studies that confirm a link between violence and video game playing. Video games fundamentally change the youth's minds and make them immune to such violence and killing and violence and killing. Video games teach the children skills and techniques that would take them years to master otherwise. How are we so good at firing guns? Because the video games teach us how to do it with an A button, Dash. It's just facts. Thank you, Mr. Williamson. And now, let's have a closer look at how video games may be negatively impacting your community.
I played the Forza racing game for approximately 6 years now. I'd say I've clocked in about 500 hours total.
Now this Forza, as you called it, does the game have you abide by regular traffic rules?
Well, no, it's meant to be an escape that lets me do things I can't.
Would you say it's made you a reckless driver?
Probably not, because...
I see you're going 32 miles an hour.
Yep.
The speed limit's 30.
Yeah.
Don't you think you're being a little reckless?
I don't care.
I've played Mario since the very beginning. It's taught me how to never give up and persevere and...
Yes, I understand that you kill mushroom creatures in this game, Gumbas, I believe they're called.
Yes, and psychologically it's made me very anti-mushroom because I'm begun to disregard the lives and importance of these mushrooms by all of the killing of these virtual creatures that I've done.
Has this affected your daily life in any way?
Oh yes, absolutely. Every single day I go out to the mushroom patch in my backyard and I stamp on them, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours. You know, it's a great way to let out my frustration with the issues that mushrooms are plaguing our society, from our jobs to our women to our economics and social justice.
How concerned are you about the impact your practices against mushrooms may have on the greater ecosystem?
Ecosystems are bullshit. It's perpetrated by the big state, you know.
Now you, ladies and gentlemen, can see for yourself the dangerous effects that games with such lawless and violent actions can have on our society and our children. This is the real reason why our country has devolved. Video games are only consumed in such quantities in the US, and there's a clear correlation between gun deaths and the amount of video games a country consumes. It's just facts, people. Yes, Dash, I completely agree. Hell, we even got to talk to someone who was almost a school shooter, and his sad story proves the link people just can't seem to find.
Yeah, my family, we were moving place to place constantly, 30 to 40 schools a year. Could never maintain any friends, and wherever I went there was a new set of bullies, a new set of people who didn't like how I looked, didn't like how I talked, didn't know where I was, I smelled bad. My parents were hard drug addicts, and our house was somewhere I never wanted to be. Oftentimes we'd be caught in the crossfire of different gangs, and just we'd pick up home wherever we could. And ended up in a lot of bad neighborhoods, I guess. I slept in my neighbor's shed most of the time. I felt so alone, in a cloud of darkness. And for a while, I got used to this darkness. I almost felt comforted by it, and it became thicker and thicker around me. I wanted to just cause as much destruction as possible to society, and so one day I went out and got a gun. It wasn't that hard, but luckily, in around the 11th grade, after many years of moving, we finally settled down for a while, and there was this neighbor who treated me as if I was a real person.
Yes, I know all about the neighbor, but I hear he had a game called 6 Days in Fallujah.
Yeah, he did.